With its rigid beat and dry, monotone vocals, the song sounds like a synth pop hit you would have heard in the dance club in the 80s, or at least on an 80s Spotify station. Close your eyes and you can imagine a music video, awkwardly lip-singing musicians, exploding light bulbs, foggy streets. It's familiar, but the name of the artist or band doesn't come to your mind. That's because right now, no one knows anything about it, who wrote it, who sang it, or even when it came out. And for about a dozen years, a dedicated gaggle of music obsessives around the world has been searching for any information about these 3 minutes of music. Throughout this quest, which intensified this summer, thousands of man-hours have been devoted to unearthing anything at all about what these zealous investigators are calling the most mysterious song on the internet. The hunt embodies every conversation anyone has ever had with a devoted music nerd happy to share every morsel of information about an obscure song. In this case, one supposedly taped off European radio about 35 years ago. It's the story of people longing for community in the digital era. But it's also becoming something bigger. Everything about this song is mysterious, from the creation to the lyrics to where it played on the radio, says amateur song detective MK2, who prefers to be identified only by his internet handle. It's not often that songs of this age are dug up, and the fact that a search has been happening for over a decade on the internet really made this case unique. Even if the case is never solved, it has briefly returned the pre-Google mystique to music, set to Sprocket's appropriate beat. If we are to believe the somewhat furtive people involved, we may know where the story starts. Between 1982 and 1984, Darius S., who asked to use an abbreviation for this article for the sake of privacy, says that he was a teenage music fan in the town of Wilhelmshaven, on the north coast of Germany. Like many in the pre-streaming era, he would record songs he heard on the radio onto a cassette deck. One of his go-to programs was Musik für Junge Leute, music for young people, on the German public radio station NDR1. One of those tapes, which Darius calls Cassette 4, includes then new songs from 1984 by XTC, The Cure, and one of the 25 cuts, Darius deemed his unknown pleasures, songs he liked but knew little about. Darius isn't certain that he taped the bleak but compelling tune off that particular broadcast, since the cassettes sometimes include tracks from different sources. But he knows he didn't record an intro by a DJ or anything else that would identify it. It was just one of the many songs I recorded and I didn't know the artist, he says. I believe I didn't hear an announcement. Maybe I heard it partially and missed the artist's name. Everything is possible. Combining the release dates of the other known songs on the tape and the fact that the Technics tape deck he says he owned at the time was manufactured in 1984, he's fairly certain he made the recording that year. Everything about this song is mysterious, from the creation to the lyrics to where it played on the radio. For over 2 decades, Darius held onto his tapes. But in 2007, his sister Lydia H., who has also requested anonymity, needed to know who was behind the song. All the years of passively searching for the lyrics on the internet hadn't brought any results, so I thought, it's time to become more active and reach out for a bigger audience, she says. Calling herself Anton Rydell and alternately going by Blue, she posted a digitized snippet of the song, 1 minute and 14 seconds, thinking this would help avoid copyright hassles, on a German site devoted to 80s synth pop, as well as a Canadian music site, spiritofradio.ca, which enables fans to upload obscure songs for identification purposes. In some ways, it's a crowdsourced version of Shazam. I had just found out about newsgroups and Usenet, she says, and somehow got the idea that this could be a place where people could help. A 2007 upload of the clip from Blue is still available on the site. That portion of the song bounced around the web. Nicolas Zuniga of Dead Wax, an indie label that specializes in synth pop and post-punk bands, was among those who heard it and were entranced by it. That same portion was uploaded to YouTube at least as early as 2011, but received fewer than 10,000 views. This April, though, the mystery and the song gained traction and more listeners by way of a 16-year-old student in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Even though he was born decades after the birth of post-punk, Gabriel da Silva Vieira really liked the song, so he started searching intensely until I found something relevant. Vieira uploaded blues clips of the songs to his own YouTube channel and a handful of Reddit communities, with the hopes that someone would be able to identify it. With that, the hunt went viral. The song became a subject of an episode of the YouTube series Tales from the Internet, which has been viewed over 390,000 times since July. Then, in July, came Sonic Paydirt. A Reddit user posted the entire song, which is just under 3 minutes long. The full song had apparently leaked out when Lydia says she received an email from someone asking for the full track. After uploading it using Lycos, she was still concerned about the legalities and quickly removed the link after the fan of the song downloaded it. On Reddit and Discord, a popular chat room site for gamers, several thousand users got in on the pursuit, posting theories and possible contact info and dissecting the song in ways that would rival the most dedicated Dylanologists. One obvious source of information, the DJ who may have played it on the show, Darius says he taped, is himself baffled. British-born Paul Baskerville, who still works at NDR, has no memory of the track and isn't sure he played it on his show. If he did, it could be sitting in his collection of 10,000 vinyl records, which includes the music he spun on air. But, he adds, if you're a collector, you know most of what you have. In late August, Darius came home from work, switched on the radio, and heard a report on German media about the search, followed by the song itself. I nearly had a heart attack. He says, it was my song. The song I was trying to identify for 35 years. It should be noted that some were skeptical of these siblings when they emerged this summer claiming to own the original tape. At this moment, we cannot prove it all. Lydia admits of the tape. The pictures of the tape my brother took can be fake, and even the tape that still exists could, at least theoretically, could have been recorded only last week. But I am not one of those persons who only need some information. There's no need for my brother or me to create such a big hoax, which only takes plenty of time and effort. Vieira, for one, believes she didn't make up any of this, especially since she shared a file of this song with a slightly better quality. At this point, glimmers of Sonic hope remained. Exactly why have so many people invested so much time and energy into this search? Baffles someone like Baskerville. I don't want to sound like a traitor to the cause, but I don't know what all the fuss is about, the DJ says. If I thought it was the best thing since sliced bread, I probably would be more interested, but I don't think it's a particular interesting song. For his part, MK2 insists it's about acknowledgement, that the people behind the song get proper credits for their work. A mysterious poster claimed credit for the song and put it on Spotify, but others determined he wasn't even born when it was released. But at a time when any tidbit of anything can be called up online in a matter of seconds, the song that may be like the wind is a source of fascination and wonder for thousands of people dedicated to finding the people who created it. I think the fact that I'm so interested in this isn't even because of the song itself. It's understanding why this song is so mysterious and why nobody can find anything about it, Vera admits. It's simply surreal. In other words, as Zuniga puts it, apart from the song itself being so catchy, it's exactly the fact that people cannot locate it in 4 seconds that makes it interesting. Should this who sung it be solved? Some involved are already wondering about the harsh realities that could result. Would the singer and or musicians involved, assuming they're alive, be dragged out of obscurity and thrust into the limelight? Only for fans of the song to realize they're retired, out of practice, and only had one decent song? What if the song was actually released on a small label in the 80s? Would it then become an overpriced collector's item out of reach of anyone who'd want to own it? How many hundreds of people would have more money to spend than me and will ban me from purchasing the original? Zuniga asks. Would that be fair? What if everyone involved in the search simply moves on to something else once they know? For his part, Vieira says he'll be very glad if the song is identified, especially after so many fakes have infiltrated the chat rooms. In late August, one of the searchers reached out to Rolling Stone. If we get a writer interested, would make a great article and boom, maybe someone identifies it. One of them posted in Discord. As of this moment, the search continues, but maybe it would be better if it remained unknown. if no one exposed the synth man behind the curtain. In data-heavy 2019, perhaps the biggest contribution the makers of Like the Wind, or whatever it's called, could make would be ensuring that something in the world remains a mystery.